right, so we're going to pretend that these are the two of the circuits that would ordinarily go to the speaker cabinets. So what we're going to do is we're going to harvest the power from these to power up our TCM boxes, primary and secondary. So these would be two individual 20 amp circuits on two breakers, two individual power sources. So instead of going directly to the cabinet, we're going to run them into primary and the secondary power supplies to the TCM, the first box. Sort out a little bit. Okay, so at this juncture, this box would be powered up. Nothing else would be. Now what we want to do is power up the second box, so we would just link out of the first one and go over to the second box. So then this one would now fire up, and this one would now fire up. And one step left is to send the links from the remaining output of the TCM back to the enclosures to get them powered up. So I'm just feeding through the handle here just to kind of keep everything nice and tidy. So come up through here. Okay, so primary, we'll say that that's going to go to cabinet 1, which would be this one. Now that cabinet would power up, and this is going to be circuit 2, secondary. Same deal. Run this out here, and then this one would go to the second cabinet. All right, so now the TCMs will be powered up and the two cabinets will be powered up. These are really low draw, so there's not going to be any risk of overloading a 20 amp circuit by adding the TCM switches, so no problems there. And now you would basically do the same thing for your EtherCons, for your network. You would come in, of course, on your primary and secondary inputs, and then you could daisy chain out of there to subsequent boxes. Primary, there's your secondary, and if you were adding more TCMs for any reason, you would just continue to daisy chain around to power them all up. This would be your incoming Cat 5s from the ground on your reels. So the only cables that are run up to the system now are your socket PEX for your power breakouts, and the Cat 5 primary and secondary from your reels down on the floor. You don't need to run any extra power for the switches because they can be run here. They also have PoE on channels 1 as well. So the primary will accept a PoE power source, but since you already have, power circuits there, you might as well just take advantage of them and use them in this fashion. So we have 3 cabinets here. We're going to pretend that we're doing 12 boxes, so I can kind of give you the whole Monty here on this setup. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to apply the extensions, which will take us down for boxes 7 through 12. Now I like to put those on the bottom because I try to keep track of things as I'm putting it together. Really simple. Just plug that in there. Again, these are the extensions. These are not the breakouts. These are the extensions for 7 through 12. But I'm not going to put the breakouts on because why clutter up the floor when I'm not going to be hooking those up yet. And so these would be the breakouts for boxes 1 through 6, which are the ones we're going to wire up first. So just pop that in there. And we'll use this one. It's already open. Pop that in there. Okay. Now you can plug these in any way you want to the TCMs. I mean, I could have done 1 through 3, 4 through 6 here, and then the 2 extensions here. I just elected to do it this way. For this example, no big deal. You can hook it up any way you want. So basically, I'm gonna just move that over there. And now there's an attachment point on the plate that allows you to just basically breast the cable in and take some of the weight off the cable. I'm just using a simple strap here, nylon strap with a carabiner, and I can just lift that up, take the weight off the strap, and then, you know, you can choke that up and do it any way you want, but there's a little attachment point right there. And then all that's left to get the party started is to patch in the first 3 cabs, because they're the ones that are right in front of me. They are numbered. Not that the numbers mean anything to the switches, because they'll accept whatever you plug into them. Color coded blue and red, red redundant. Number 2, that's number 3, number 2. And remember that the lengths of the breakouts are all the same, so you can't mix them up. You just basically say, I need X number of breakouts, and grab them, and they're all the same length, so there's no messing it up. So after this is done, then we would now lift the stack up, and we'll pull in another stack, and we'll continue on with building the entire array.